Real life.
7 p.m. and it's Tuesday evening. You know what that means. It's time for DLP TV. I'm your host. My name is Courie Cox. And this evening, we're going to get to know some of our candidates who have been recently ratified to gear up and get ready for the next election. So let me say good night to all you members, everyone who's watching us, folks as far away as the diaspora or right here at home. But we will be coming to you this evening. We have Mr. Dale Rowe. He's been the ratified candidate for the city, and also Miss Amoy Gilding-Bourne. She will be the candidate for Christchurch East. This evening, we're going to have some pretty exciting stuff to talk about. I want to get to know some of these candidates. I want to get to know about your personal backgrounds, your professional experience, your community engagement, personal values and vision, and so much more. And of course, we can't leave out those fun facts because I really want to get to know these candidates personally. So stay with us this evening. In addition, I want to thank all of you who came out to our meeting in St. Michael West on Sunday, where we officially introduced candidate Shaquani Hunt to the folks in that constituency and all others who joined us for the meeting. That was a pretty good meeting. We had speakers, Dr. Dawn Marie. There was also Mr. Curtis Cave. There was also the president of the Democratic Labour Party, Senator Andre Morrell, and the leader of the opposition, Mr. Ralph Skeet, Mr. Ralph Thorne, for sure. He also made a little cameo because he wasn't on the card, but of course, the leader of the opposition could not leave without saying good night to the good people of the Democratic Labour Party and also of the wider St. Michael West. So I want to thank you so much for that. We're going to have a series going on maybe over the next few weeks. As I said tonight, we will speak with Miss Amoy Gilding-Bourne. She's sure getting ready. Also, Mr. Dale Rowe, as I mentioned just now, and later on over the next coming weeks, we are going to be meeting much more of our candidates. You'll have the Christchurch West candidate, Mr. Andrew Cave, and there's lots more guys who are going to come to talk with us as we get to know everyone. So I can't wait. That is a definite. I was actually just scanning through today's paper. It's a Tuesday's paper, and I have to say congratulations to the West Indies team. They actually won a test match in Pakistan the first time in, let me just call it eons. And I was absolutely shocked. I will admit this. My confidence in the West Indies team have not really been exactly up there, but of course, sports does unlock the community, and that's why sports is even integral to the politics because it brings people together. We speak about unity, and therefore sports is paramount. And you will have heard Dr. Dawn Marie, she spoke about it on Sunday actually, when she felt that we needed to do more for our sports persons. So yet again, I say congrats to those guys, including left arm spinner Jamal Warrington. He was the toast of the West Indies cricket after bowling out the Pakistani side. Obviously, the ladies, the West Indies women, they're also here getting ready. They're also here playing Pakistan. They're pretty much into their dog fight. So there's a lot to go on. There's much to go on. For sure, we're going to welcome you guys to send any questions to us. So we will post the WhatsApp number, and you can always call us. You can always send a WhatsApp, and we will be sure to ask these candidates any questions which you may have. Of course, the city representative, the city candidate, Mr. Dale, he has quite a bit to talk about. He launched an initiative today in the city. I think it's called the MAD Initiative. I'm not going to tell you much about it. I prefer him to tell you about it, actually. He also had an exciting campaign over Christmas. So let's just say Mr. Dale Rowe, he hit the ground running. So I don't want to put the cat out of the bag, as some people will say. I'd rather him tell you all what he has going on and what he has planning for the constituency. So let us get ready and say a very pleasant good evening to the recently ratified candidate for the city. On behalf of the Democratic Labour Party, let's welcome Mr. Dale Rowe. Good evening to you, sir, and how are you doing?
Sir, how are you?
How's everything going? You must be a busy man.
Yeah, things picked up. Very busy. Schedule. Yeah, very.
Well, Dale, let us not waste any time. We want to get everyone over in the diaspora, the wider community, Democratic Party membership, what in Barbados. We want to find out about Dale Rowe. Who is Dale Rowe?
Ah, very, very interesting question. Because I'm a very interesting person. You know, say I came from humble beginnings, and one thing you want to taught me that truly is not for nobody remembers.
Oh, a minute.
Nobody
And two, no one remembers. So if you come third, no one remembers that. You came second,
saying nothing.
I think nothing.
Saying nothing.
You need to win. Your standards are high.
When I was 11 and Bob made that statement, that was because some people I came third. And then she was upset that she was not going to nobody remembers. And that is because this is the first time actually achieving a trophy, you're excited, but when one leaves share that same energy.
Aim for the sake and gotta come first.
So I think that is what shared me way out today. Because he wanted us to be great, he wants to do great things. Yeah, he wants to be great, he wants to do great things,
So let me ask you, I want to look in the camera directly and tell those folks what motivated you to enter politics. This is not with ourselves. What motivated you?
Excellent. Walton Barrow. Primary school at Spawn, they were teaching us about national heroes. And at a young age, I was like, yo, I'm so grateful I could have access to the education. Because I couldn't think about things for that things. I can only imagine those persons were like. So I am grateful for Mr. Barrow, and I would like to contribute to the wider society, the wider Barbados in that aspect. They're doing something great.
So you mentioned the school at Nursing Home. I know that the hall is pretty much is known for some recruiting exports, very talented sports children, also music actually. Do you have any are you blessed with any of those skills, Bill?
Used to do trap. Obenelli Thompson came to Wesley Hall where he won the medal at this was Olympics. When
So you were a Roman.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
you have to work all your way.
okay, yeah, okay. So he came, he sang students, all that. That inspired me to be trap. Slow.
So you didn't come third, second, or first.
For the school, I was that's on the second night.
So let me ask you, what are some of the key experiences or challenges in your life that will shape who you are today?
Example, when I started the hotel sector, I started the hotel sector quarter. Then I picked up from quarter to one semester and then with manager. So I would have always had challenges in terms of service, learning, developing myself. So those experiences would have contributed to me wanting to serve more service industry.
That is actually a pretty good segue into my next question for you, which is how has your professional experience prepared you for a role in politics today?
Well, managing hotels and restaurants is a hard thing to do. You have 52 staff, 52 different personalities, 52 different challenges. So, that experience serving people and also mentoring my team. So we would have achieved, write the TripAdvisor reviews. Several times we would achieve all of the budgets and everything we needed to put in place. Me and the management team, we would have accomplished everything. So what I can say from my professional experience is that it put me in a position now that makes me want to serve on a bigger scale. In addition to that, I'm a financial advisor now. So canvassing, I am ready to do canvassing because to sell insurance, we have to approach people and try to sell that product. So approaching people in the role of a financial advisor is something hard. However, I enjoy doing it. And to be a candidate, you need to do that interaction, that knocking on the door, that groundwork, you need to get sweaty. So
You have to walk your shoes off.
have to walk
I
it
can
off.
tell you that. You have to walk your shoes off, Dale. So make sure, aim to have at least 5 pair of shoes and aim to walk every single pair off, my friend. Some community engagement. How have you been involved in the community up to this point?
We did several events in the community. So
And
2020,
I'll tell you this before even, I don't want to cut you there, but before even politics, you have been involved in the community in some form or fashion. So even before you actually get into what you maybe been up to the last few months, how far back does your community involvement actually go?
it was at youth service. They had an award called the most community service. I won that award. I did like 500 or 600 community service hours just to win that award.
500 or 600.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's great.
And that was painting houses in the community and doing different things. So
Speaks to your dedication and commitment.
I wanted that award, so I won it.
Nice. And of recent times, how have you been involved in the community?
We would have launched different initiatives in the community. Every year, we do a back to school program where we supply bags, books, school clothes, and so far, I think this 2025 it will be our 5th year doing it. Besides the back to school projects, we did a homework program where we would have helped students in 2021. We would have done reading. We did some performing arts, drumming, dancing. We had different persons come in and do mentorship programs. So that community work was always there. So now that I'm aspiring to be the elected candidate, the elected MP for the city of Bridgetown, that community work is gonna come like nothing. Because we were doing it before, and I'm gonna continue to do it.
So, of recent times, tell me a little bit about your Christmas gift program. Like, how did you come with that idea? I remember I did that a few years back. And what really struck me was the excitement that was on the faces of the kids. And I remember when I was a little kid, if someone gave me a gift, like I would never, ever forget it. So I would always go there and give away gifts for Christmas. And then I saw you doing it also. What motivated you? What was your inspiration behind that initiative?
All right. 2021 when we did our first program in Jordan Village, I came up with the idea like, I would love to do a toy drive. And when I came up with the idea to do the toy drive in 2021, it was just an idea.
I don't want you to project these things to the camera because I don't want people to really hear what Dale is into. So don't only talk to me, but talk to those folks at home that want to hear about Dale.
Okay, so basically, right, with the toy drive, it was an idea from 2021. And yeah, and last year, after we did the back to school in September, and then we did 100 haircuts the day before school. I said, you know what? The time is now to act on the toy drive. So I reached out to some of my very close business partners. They said, sure, they are on board. I reached out to Cavill Best. I said, Cavill, I need some drummers and I need some stuff put in place. Cavill said, no problem, Dale. He's on it. All right, we got the skaters on board. We got all of the pieces of the puzzle put together. So when we started with the idea that we're gonna do a motorcade. And the reason why that idea came up is because I know usually a lot of children might not have a gift for Christmas. So when I realized that the children might not have a gift for Christmas, what we then did, we managed with the help of Marcia Weeks and a lot of other persons. We raised 300 gifts, 300 toys. We managed to accumulate 300 toys. So I spent all of Christmas Eve wrapping at least 200 of those toys. Christmas morning, Ramon came, we load up, we had the skaters in place, we had the drummers in place, we had the characters in place, and we just proceed into the city. And for me, it was magical.
So let me ask you this: out of all the initiatives which you've actually put onto the ground, what do you think made the most tangible impact in your opinion? What do you think really touched you and made you feel like, you know what, we are actually making an impact on the community?
Something simple as that toy drive. When I saw the looks on each child's face, receiving a gift from a stranger, I felt like, you know what, we are doing something magical, and I know these children will aspire to do great like that for somebody else. So I know one of those children in, let's say, the next 30 years will be inspired by this same toy drive like you. When I was a child, this guy or these people give me a toy. So now I'm in a position, those same children, will a toy drive even way bigger than we did. So I know for a fact that will impact and inspire change.
Awesome. I really like that. To be honest with you, I find it to be pretty impressive. And then let's go on to your personal values and visions. Like, what are the core values that guide you both personally and professionally?
Integrity and honesty, once you carry yourself in a particular way and you stay truthful to the greater good. So for me, the greater good is the objective. So to assist with the greater good, to contribute to the greater good, that is my focus, that is my vision. And I'm going to stay true to the Bible and true to God's glory.
So let me ask, just what is your vision for the constituency? Now, I love to be in the city. There's an energy that I get from the city, whether I am strolling through the Orleans. It makes no difference to me where I go, wherever I am. Once I'm in the city, for some reason, I feel at home. But as the person aiming to be the next representative for the City of Bridgetown on behalf of the Democratic Labour Party, just what is your vision and how do you intend to achieve it?
I have several things that I would love for us as the Democratic Labour Party to roll out in the lives of the people in the city.
And persons in the city may be watching us tonight. Let me say good night to you guys. So you talk to those guys, Dale. Tell them what you want to do. What's your vision?
All right, so the first thing on the bucket list is the MAD program, MAD. So MAD stands for Making a Difference. So we intend to make that difference because we want to implement change. So the change is going to come by going and dealing with the root cause. So a lot of these young boys that we see on the block came from broken homes, neglect of fathers, neglect of, access to opportunities. So the MAD program, we're going to provide reading sessions. Reading sessions is going to be for 1 hour once a week, and that is going to help both males and females when it comes to literacy. In addition to that, we're going to do, I will teach a session called Money Management and Saving. The reason being, money management and saving is not taught in the household. So when we afford these children, these young people with opportunity, and they receive that job, we want them to continue on the right path, which is when you earn that money, You don't need to sell drugs. You don't need to do any of these sort. All you need to do is save, budget, and reinvest. You know, because your current job might not be what that person want to do. Like for me, my when I started as a porter. So for me to move from a porter to restaurant manager, I would have invested into myself and saved. So we're gonna do the money management section. We're gonna have boxing, football, netball. So we're gonna have coaches come in and train these people every single Saturday. So we're gonna have different categories: young children, teenagers, and also adults. We're gonna have counseling available because counseling is something that we as a people think that is something negative with counseling. It's nothing
Yeah, there's a
negative.
stigma.
Yeah, it's a
There's
stigma.
a stigma attached to it.
Why? You know, I think counseling is very good, especially if persons, you know, with a lost loved one, persons going through, let's say, you know, your son is incarcerated, your father is incarcerated. So there are different issues, different traumas, and I think we need to address it by counseling. In addition to that, the MAD program also offering a drug awareness session. So the drug awareness session, we're gonna highlight all different drugs and you know, encourage the young people not to get on drugs, not to get hooked on drugs. Don't even start it. If you're on it, we then gonna offer solutions to get them off. We're gonna highlight HIV and AIDS because these things are things that are growing currently in our community, and you know we need to get our young people to be aware of these situations because there are young people right now that are living with these illnesses. You know, as you know, so as opposed to you know pushing the people, we need to empower the people. So the MAD program ain't even stop yet because we can have something called morning motivation. So morning motivation is we're gonna start our morning with a motivational quote or scripture from the Bible. So every session we're gonna start a morning motivation. We're gonna do some meditation. We're gonna do some yoga. Then, now, for the persons that might not be interested interested in being a doctor or lawyer, that person might want to be a business owner. We're gonna have entrepreneurs come in and teach the children, the young teenagers, young adults how to, you know, put the steps in place to becoming a successful business owner. You know, the plans, the business plan, registering the business, getting the business account up and running, the mission statement, the vision statement, the correct employee programs in terms of training and development for your business.
You have quite a bit of programs. I must say.
So all of that is under the MAD.
Right. Okay. All that falls
that
under the MAD program. Well, let me just take a quick second to say to all of you guys who are watching this, if you have any questions that you want to send for Dale to answer, please WhatsApp us, and I will be glad to share those questions with Dale, and we get some answers for you. Anything else, Dale, you want to tell us about your MAD program?
Yeah. So the MAD program, the reason why I chose MAD because when I move around in the city and throughout Barbados, a lot of young people mad and frustrated. I don't want a brain drain where those young people qualified and can't get jobs. When I was managing the restaurants, when I was in the hotel sector, I was a wine sommelier and I was a level 2 wine sommelier. We had a guy that was a level 3 wine sommelier. Unfortunately, he did not get the job as the head wine sommelier.
Okay.
They brought in a guy from Italy with a level 2 qualification. So that basically shows young people that, you know, a lot of these jobs are not for me. So the MAD program, the reason why I say MAD because young people are mad and frustrated with the current situation. Some have opportunities, a lot don't. So we're gonna change that MAD into making a difference. We're gonna definitely go into the community and work with these young people. In addition to that, I don't want this only for myself. I am willing to share my ideas and how we would have get it started and how we're doing any kind of data. I'm willing to share it all other with with the blueprint that we are creating. I'm willing to share with all of the other candidates once they're interested. Because the focus, to be very honest, the focus is Barbados, not only justice.
Nice, nice deal. Dale, you have a lot of work ahead of you, for sure. That is a fact. I can imagine you would have been out in the constituency, in the city. What has been the feedback for you? What has been the feedback, in your opinion?
Honestly, the feedback, the people that I've met, they are disappointed with, their current situations. They're disappointed in a lot of things. When I approach a lot of these persons, have a lot of negative to say about Barbadian politics. They say, guys only come around when it's election time or approaching election time, and then they don't do anything. So now it makes it difficult for new candidates. But you know what? I love the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. So I listen to the people in the constituency and I take note. And then when I take note, then me and the team, we will then act on the collective vision. So we might put one or two people that have issues in this one particular thing, but if we have a lot of people that have a bigger issue, we would then look to deal with the collective group as opposed to individual persons.
So let us talk a little bit about the youth and future generations. Now, you're a pretty young man. I think you're 32 years old. Don't really want to clear the age up, but I saw it out in the press today. So, you're 32. You'll be one of the younger persons to ever enter elected politics. Not the youngest, but you'll be one of the younger persons to do it. And let me ask, how do you plan to inspire and engage young people in politics? Because for sure, that is going to be critical to you as a young person. People will be expecting you to be able to identify with the younger folks, maybe the challenges that they have. How do you see that?
For me to inspire younger people to join politics, I then have to continue to serve the greater good. Because once I continue to do it for the greater good, I could then inspire the young persons. Example, when you like this smart program, we're gonna do data collection. So when we do the data collection and we realize that we would have contributed to 100 lives, and we have seen an improvement in these lives, it would then inspire now younger persons to say, you know what, I don't want to be a politrickster. I want to be a politician that have standards and actually make a difference in lives. So with the mad movement and we achieving success, I know for sure we will inspire people and younger persons.
So what initiative do you think are really required today to give the future generations opportunities?
We need to help the young people to understand entrepreneurship and money management. Young people, some are interested in education, but a lot of young people, a lot of young persons right now want to own their own business.
I agree.
And because they heard, they would have witnessed friends and family work for people and it did not end up. Our persons working for people and they're still struggling. So I know a lot of young persons want to own businesses. So once we basically push entrepreneurship in the school system, we can then push money management into the system also. They can then help those young people to develop business ideas, business plans, and contribute back into our economy.
Nice. Well, let me ask, Dale, we've been discussing some pretty hard politics. Let me remind you guys, the number is on the screen. So if you want to send any messages to Dale, you can feel free to do that. It's 725-253-1124. Dale, let's get into some personal stuff, man. Nothing too heavy, but who is Dale outside of politics? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Sometimes we tend to run into each other at night. what are your interests and hobbies, Dale?
To be honest, I like reading. I like listening to different motivational things on YouTube. I like meeting people and just socializing. Very simple, and very humble, to be honest. And I do a lot of writing, so I love writing. I love journaling, to be honest.
So you had any days roasting breadfruit? My Dale wants some more hard stuff, man. You had days roasting breadfruit. You had days pitching marbles.
Yeah.
Like you had days when you didn't really have toys, so you had to make toys.
For sure.
Like I used to play paper jacks when I was a little boy.
Sure.
You know?
Most of the cakes that we made in Jordan Village or something, coconut sticks.
And you come from Jordan Village, so
Right.
you had any days like jumping on the jetty.
For sure. Look,
What tell me
learned
things,
that.
man? They bought stuff for me, man. Talk to me, Dale.
Yeah, man. As a boy, I was always an entrepreneur. I don't like to use the term hustler because people then associate hustling as something negative. I always like my own. So we would have picked our keys in the summer vacation and we went down to the beach and sold it for $1 US. But people used to just buy Akis because the young boys selling Akis.
It fosters entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
It really does. It fosters entrepreneurship. Yeah, continue.
And then I just had a thing just for making money. So then when I went into Lester Vaughan, I sold chewing gum first.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk into Index and I bought chewing gums at 50 cents. Okay.
What is Index? I don't even know what
Index is a
Index
candy store on Robert Street.
Okay.
So I would have bought, I received $11 for school. At that time, bus fare would have been $1. So I needed $3 for bus fare. And I didn't buy lunch that particular day. I sacrificed and I bought all the money in chewing gum because when they get school, they can sell a drink for $1. So when I get school, all the chewing gum sold out. I was like, this is good, but I need more. So I then switched the hustle, the entrepreneurship to Bobby's. I realized Bobby's wasn't really making any money. I said, I got it. We did lollipops. I sold 96 lollipops in a day. I made $50 every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? You're a serious.
So I made
I
So I would have bought.
love that.
I made sure that I had the necessities going to school. So going to school, everybody taught you. He rich.
Right.
I look nice. Yeah.
Guys, listen. The ratified candidate for Christchurch East, Miss Amoy Gilding-Bourne. She is here sitting waiting. Don't worry. When she comes here, we're going to ask her some of these same very questions. So we want to get to know her too. But getting back to you, Bill, how do you maintain a work-life balance and ensure that you remain grounded?
I love my job, to be honest. I have a team that work with me to keep the balance. So, all right. I wake up at 3:30 every morning.
Oh,
I start my motivational morning.
sorry. What time do you go to sleep in order to get up at 3:30?
At 10 p.m.
Oh, that's too sharp for me.
Yeah, so sometimes by 9:30, I'm up cool.
Okay.
So I start my morning early.
I see you sometimes. So those
That was-
mornings you don't.
that
you don't
was-
get up
that
at
was-
3:30 on those mornings.
That was 6 months ago.
Okay, good
Yeah,
to
so
see.
6 months ago, I
Right.
was doing events.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, I was doing events last year just to try to build a connection in the entertainment world.
Right.
So I did events to meet influencers and DJs because I know that when politics start, I would not be no trying to
Get hold of some of those
get hold of
guys.
these guys. I work with at least 100 DJs,
Okay.
100 different influencers. So I built that relationship last year. So now I'm able now to rest at 10. Yeah. So managing the work life, I just start early. Meet with the clients during the day, and get everything out, and that's basically it. Simple life.
That is good, man. That is really, really good. Sincerely speaking. What about the aspect of the city's heritage or environment are you passionate about preserving or promoting?
I would love for us to promote nightlife back into the city. The only way we can promote nightlife back into the city, there are so many issues that persons that own businesses in the city have. So maybe then could meet as a collective, have the meeting, then we can then put stuff in place. But two concerns right now. Nightlife back into the city, one, bathroom facilities. So a lot of persons were telling me, we don't have adequate bathroom facilities. So that is one thing.
These are public bathroom facilities you're
Public
talking about.
bathroom facilities.
Okay.
So, we have a lot of people in town on a daily basis do not have access to public facilities. Obviously, you just can't walk off the street and go into a lot of the fast food restaurants because that is a no-no. So we need to put more public facilities for like washrooms. Next thing we need to then do is also focus on parking. Yeah, parking in the city is an issue, and that is something that I think that once we are elected, we then could look at. But I would like us to promote like back into the city. I think that once we could promote that nightlife, we can then create more job opportunities for persons also in the city. We can then create, a lot more for our economy, to be very honest.
Maybe we should have some more concerts in the cities, like maybe every Sunday night.
Every Sunday
have
night,
some kind of show or
some
something
kind of
to see.
show, culture, arts, different things that we can do in the city.
It's really nice. The city is very, when we speak about the city, because persons think sometimes that when you speak about the constituency city, they think that you're really only talking about Bridgetown. But tell us how far the city really stretches.
BLN, we go across Halls Road, we go on Roebuck Street. So the left of Halls Road would be considered the city. We are on Roebuck Street, Chapman Lane, Orleans, New Orleans. We come around by Kensington. So yeah, city.
You actually stretch actually outside the immediate environs of the city. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been here speaking to Mr. Dale Rowe. He has been the recently ratified candidate, and he will be seeking to win that seat in the city. For sure, I will be asking you for your support. You will see him around from time to time. You've heard about this program, MAD. It's an acronym, by the way. It's not MAD, it's an acronym. MAD. Remind them what does MAD stand for, Dale?
Making a difference.
You heard it. Making a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take 1 minute, and when we return, we will be speaking with the ratified candidate for Christchurch South. That's Miss Amoy Gilding-Bourne. 1 minute, and we will return with DLP TV. Christchurch East can never get that wrong. She will be taking on the baton from the late, great Mr. Dennis Lowe. So we have a lot to talk about. Stay with us. Give us 1 minute. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome back. We are live on DLP TV. I'm your host this evening. My name is Courie Cox. And this time around, let's say good evening to the recently ratified candidate for Christchurch South. Or Christchurch East. Why do I keep saying Christchurch South?
Maybe they want me in South too.
You know, all over the place, right? But I want to say good evening to Miss Amoy Gilding-Bourne. She will be the candidate for Christchurch East. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And yourself?
I am pretty good. I am pretty good. Let's get some batting going. You've heard me speaking with candidate for the city,
Yes.
Mrs. Dale Rowe recently.
Mhm.
And let's talk about you. Let's hear a little bit about Amoy. Tell us about your background. What motivated you to enter politics?
Well, my background certainly did not motivate me to enter politics, but my journey has. I'm a resident of Christchurch East. And
So you're living this thing. You're living what you're representing.
yes. I like to say I'm not entering politics. I'm entering representation,
Okay.
right? So I live in Christchurch East. I see the lack of representation. I see the cost of living skyrocketing. I see the virtual death of our sugar industry, the pillaging of our agriculture industry. And I don't just want to talk about it. I just don't want to complain about it. I want to do something about it. So I've entered representation. I want to work for the people. I'm here to do that. Work for and on behalf of the people.
So you are on a mission.
Oh,
and
yes,
you
for
have
sure.
a vision.
That's correct.
We will definitely be talking about that in a few minutes. But in the meantime, my boy, how has your professional journey prepared you for a role in politics?
Has it?
You tell me.
Well, this is the first time I'm entering politics, you know?
Sometimes you know we're prepared for things that we don't even know or realize that we're being prepared for it.
No, this is true. But I would say that my personal life has prepared me for politics.
Okay.
Rather than my professional life.
Okay.
I am an attorney at law by profession. I have 2 years in. Some might say that I'm newly minted. But
What area of law are you into?
well, I'm into criminal law, but
Okay.
I also do civil law.
Okay.
That's the bread and butter of most attorneys.
Agree.
And so while I am an advocate, passionate about speaking on behalf of the persons doing justice, it definitely, I guess you could say that it prepared me to some extent. But I think more so my personal life, my journey as a constituent, as a resident, as a tax-paying citizen of this nation as a proud Barbadian that loves my country. I'm seeing it tailspin into the doldrums, and I refuse to let that happen. So I decided to offer up myself for service and my skills to a party that is in need of such. Not only from me, but from other candidates as well too. We take up the mantle.
You know what I respect? That you're not complaining about the issues as a resident,
Mhm.
but you're actually setting out to do something about it for the betterment
Well,
of
yeah.
the same residents.
For sure. I mean, I'm certain that there are other people that would have liked to get, and not just to complain, but to actually to have action. But everybody is not as, I guess, maybe positioned to be able to do that. A lot of people have a problem speaking out.
Mhm.
A lot of persons are scared to talk in the climate that we're in right now. But I don't have a problem talking, and I don't have a problem saying what other people don't want to say. I'm going to say it if it
So
needs to be
you
said.
can call you fearless Amoy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm ushering in change. Definitely.
Yes. What skills and insights from your previous jobs do you think or may have contributed to or will help you in serving your constituents?
Well, as an attorney at law, that would definitely come in handy. It prepares you for public speaking, which as a politician, you have to do that. If you don't like public speaking, you better learn fast.
You got to talk, right?
Yes, right?
But you need some action, huh?
But yeah, it's not all
You
talk.
need to walk the talk.
Well, we've seen what all the talk does with this administration. We want action. So I think the time for talk is over and the time for action is now. So hence, I give myself for service. And here I am.
Well, I actually saw you making the headlines in the newspapers a couple of times. We've seen you across social media also. How have you been involved in your community up to this point?
Well, prior to politics, say around 2014, I was helped with the Parishland Football Club. It's a grassroots club in my community. I've been serving there as the secretary. I am no longer involved in the club since I came back from Trinidad and getting my law degree and getting my legal education certificate. I decided to move a different route. But when I came back, yes, made sure that the club was handed off to other persons. I'm not involved there. Then we had a netball club, some girls within the district that wanted to have a netball club. And I thought that was fantastic because a lot of these times you don't see that amount of young ladies that are interested in sport and that are willing to do it themselves. So it's one thing showing them what to do, making sure they get registered with the Barbados Netball Association, and then handed it off to the very capable young ladies. I'm sure they're still running the club now. I have to check on them.
So can you share any specific instance where you've had a tangible impact on your community?
Well, with the same football, one of my things before I got serious about the politics was engaging the youth through sport. And in 2000 and in 2022, I gained a prize where I Proma Sonika Prize for civic engagement, and that was one of the things that I was interested in. Making sure
you received a prize for what?
It's civic engagement.
Civic engagement. Okay.
Right, and I think it is important that we have those types of initiatives: football clubs, cricket clubs, youth clubs, sport clubs. Those types of sporting initiatives, and it has a great impact on the youth. Whether it be raising confidence levels, whether it be being a space or a family, extended family, where persons are usually it's males, come and they can feel comfortable and they can perform, learn a new skill, and get developed.
I like that so much. Let's move on a little bit to speak to Amoy about her personal values and a vision. What are the core values that guide you both personally and professionally?
Well, as an attorney at law, we have some ethics and rules and guidelines that we must follow, right? I know attorneys have a bad rap in Barbados, and that might be for the attorney's own fault, right? And our Chief Justice have said to us, please, do your work with integrity. Stay above board. So integrity, accountability, transparency, and now that I'm in politics, accessible representation. Gone are the days of hide and seek champions. We're not into that anymore. The people want someone that they can see, they can speak to, they can access, someone they can depend on. One of them, you know?
Wanna be?
Yeah, for sure.
I like that, Amoy. I like that. What is your vision for your constituency? Just how do you intend to achieve it?
Well, you have to get help and listen to the people. I heard you say earlier that you need 5 pair of shoes. And yes, the most honorable Errol Walton Barrow told us you have to have 5 pair of shoes and be prepared to walk them off. You have to go to each and every household, not once, not twice, but at least a minimum of 3 times. They have to know who you are. They have to ensure or vet you. Make sure you're just not here for the pictures, but you're here to do the work.
So you see yourself as building those community relations.
Oh, for
with the
sure.
Constituents.
For sure. You have to. You
Feeling
have to
comfortable
go.
in their homes, drinking a sip, having a sip of water.
Well, yes, you have to go. Sometimes it may involve taking a sip of water. Sometimes it may be involve empathetic engagement. You may have to sit and cry with them. Situations do make you cry sometimes. I mean, I'm a mother of 4, so my heartstrings get tugged at sometimes, you know, and I don't know, it's more motivation for me to get this job done.
It most definitely is. Just as a candidate, sometimes your experiences, your responsibilities, it can be enormous.
Yes.
Sometimes someone may call you in the middle of the night because their house is burning.
Mm-hmm.
They call you in the middle of the night because their son just got shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so accessibility, as you said,
It's
is
key.
incredibly important.
Yes. The people want a visible representative.
So, tell me a little bit about your constituency. You're not only the candidate, but you actually live up there. So you have a pretty intimate idea and knowledge as to what the constituents are going through.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think are some of the pressing issues facing your constituents?
Well, right now, our roads are horrible, or they're in deplorable condition. And this is Parish Land, Fair Valley, Tyne Bottom, Enterprise, Goodland Gardens, Silver Sands. I could go on.
Go on.
The roads need fixing. Recently, I did a video on Instagram talking about the roads in Fairy Valley. Now, while I was out canvassing in Fairy Valley, if I went to 90 houses, 90 people said the same thing. The roads are deplorable, and there is a lack of reliable and consistent public transportation. And that to me, that's incredulous. You having so many residents within that area. And after the last 6 years, we've just been hearing, oh, I've spoken to this body, I've emailed that body, I've wrote that body. No, the residents want action, right? And after 2 Instagram videos and an article in the Nation newspaper, the residents were able to get some hot mix in the potholes.
Kind of good, but still not good enough yet. Because
Right,
we know
but
what the rainfall is going to happen.
That's correct. No, that is not the preferred fix.
Mhm.
What we would really like is for them to regrade the road and repave it. Do it properly one time so that you won't have to keep revisiting it
Right.
every single time. Because as you said, after 3 weeks to 4 weeks and the rain is falling, that hot mix is going to come out those potholes, and then we're back at square one.
What means have you been using to engage your constituents to ensure that their voices are being heard?
Well, like the same Fair Valley and the road issue. No, we are in a day and age where social media can either be evil or good. No, in this instance, I try to use it for good. The old people will tell you, keep enough noise, people will hear you. No, if you're using social media to point out different things that the government is failing at, like the roads, the government don't like to get called out. So they would try and do something to circumvent that negative rhetoric. Lucky for us, the man put hot mix in the holes, which was still good, but not what we wanted. The ultimate goal is to have the road repaved, right? So definitely, yes, getting in the constituency, speaking to the residents, hearing what their concerns are, and not just hearing what their concerns are, but taking it to the next level and executing it, putting action behind words. Actions speak louder than words.
So do you think there's a pretty large youth presence in your constituency?
Yeah, there's a large presence. Yes, I could say that for sure.
How do you plan
And-
to engage these the younger folks and that kind of stuff?
Well, not meaning to sound repetition, but what the candidate before Mr. Rowe said is so true. We have a lot of young people who are interested in owning their own business. Within our area too, we have a lot of small business owners, a lot of persons who have decided to bite the bullet and go for it, shoot their shot. And I would like to assist those persons that really want to do their own. There are persons that are interested in agriculture. I heard one of the ministers from the Barbados Labour Party say that there's no young people interested in agriculture. Rubbish. They have young persons that want to get involved in agriculture. They don't have the land, they don't have the financial means, but they have the will, and a lot of them have the knowledge. But here we have a government that says they ain't got no young people that are interested in agriculture. Nonsense.
I was very surprised when I heard that statement.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because I was like, only a couple of years ago, there were so many young people on the side of the roads.
Yes, they even did a
Working
video.
on
They
roads.
even did a video with a gentleman
Yeah.
in St. John, a youngster. So what become of him? He not interested no more.
So I fully agree with you there. Now there's a fact actually.
Yeah. But wait, not
and
crossing
this-
you.
No, this is for you. Your night, Amoy. You go.
Well,
you go.
we spoke about the roads, but also we have in Christchurch East, we have a great farming belt. Now, I'm a registered farmer, so that would be interesting or important for me.
Why can't
we
I
have-
picture you farming, Amoy?
That's it. My go on my Instagram page, you see me digging cassava. Sign me up for this. Yes, cassava, sweet potato, melon, squash, a whole heap of the whole host of stuff. I also have livestock, sheep, cow,
Yeah.
and chickens. Well, I don't have any chickens at the moment. This barrel was really difficult in terms of the death of
Yes,
chickens and the
yes,
wet and thing.
yes.
It was really, we had a lot of flooding and stuff.
I see here we have, let's say, again, to Serlene Clark. She is saying as a constituent of Christchurch East, I support our candidate Amoy. Bad repairs on Gibbons Main Road, enterprise, etc. Better must be done.
That is correct.
So she is
Thank you
definitely
very much,
supporting
Miss
your
Serlene Clark, because it is true. Better must be done. Imagine they paved, they said they were going Oysters, and they went from Oysters up to Calendars and stopped. So what happened to the rest of Pilgrim Road and going, what happened to that? Why couldn't they just go up and do the whole road coming down? Pilgrim Road, come across, do, if you can get up Time Bottom, because Time Bottom roads are awful as well too.
I prefer that area.
Oh my goodness. The people in Time Bottom really need better as well.
But for those who may not know, give us an idea as to where Christchurch East exactly is in terms of boundaries. Like, how big or small is Christchurch East?
Christchurch East is big.
What are some of the communities in Christchurch
Right.
East?
Well, I said we have Fair Valley. That is a special community to me, as well as Parish Land, because I live in Parish Land.
Okay.
So Hope Drums beat first. I also have family in Fair Valley, Silver Sands. We come down to Gibbons, and then we have a little bit up there by Newton, coming up from Calendars.
Okay.
The left side is not ours. The right side is ours. Coverley, and we're coming around. So we have quite a few
Big
communities.
area.
Yes, in Christchurch East.
And also, young people actually do reside in those areas. That is a fact, actually. Let's talk about balancing tradition and innovation. How do you plan to respect the traditions of your constituency while
Right.
also fostering innovation and progress?
Well, you cannot talk about Christchurch East if you do not mention Dr. Dennis Lowe. He is synonymous with Christchurch East. Now, during his time, even though he and I didn't see eye to eye on everything, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that at one point in time in Christchurch, in Parish Land, Silver Sands, you could not find a cat or a dog on the block because everybody and the grandmother had a job. Dr. Dennis Lowe did that. He did. And a lot of persons would tell me, I got some big shoes to fill. But I don't intend to fill his shoes. His legacy has been set. I am going to carry on the mantle, though. I am going to continue in his stride and work for the people. Dr. Dennis Lowe was a people's person. Like he or don't like he not, he was a people's
I
person.
always said that if I were to be half the politician, the late great, I refer to him as the late great
Mhm.
Dr. Dennis Lowe. If I could become half the politician that he was, I feel I would do pretty well.
Yes, yes.
He was really
My husband is a great
people's person.
supporter of Dr. Dennis Lowe. So, he sings his praises. Not only him, other persons too. Especially about the jobs. That is one thing a lot of people remember from his legacy. He gave everybody work. He improved the livelihoods of so many residents in Christchurch East. So I have work to do.
So you take it out as an inspiration to you.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, let me just step out to the politics a little bit. I mean, just take this personal interest. Huh? You said you were a registered farmer.
Yes.
What are some of the personal interests or hobbies that you tend to enjoy?
Well, in addition to being a true daughter of the soil, I am also an assistant Cub Scout leader. Still in training. Barbados Boy Scout. I was a Barbados Brownie and a Barbados Queen's Guide, right?
Right.
So I understand the importance those types of youth organizations have, the impact, the positive impact they have on the youth. And as I wanted to give back to my community, and Marco on what my 11-year-old is doing too, because he's also a Cub Scout. And that's what I do. I like that. I like camping.
Girl, guys. I'll speak up with that.
I have 3 sons.
Oh, you have boys.
Yeah, and one girl, but my last one, he's Cub Scout, and I enjoyed my time in scouting, camping, cooking, all those kind of things. And he likes that too. I would like to make sure that continues for other generations.
Something that is a good way to even build community spirit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not just restricted to the Boy Scouts. You can actually bring these things into
Yeah.
the wider community.
Yes,
Do some
yes,
camping, some hiking,
yes.
you
We do attend a lot of camps, and a lot of times, the school Cub Scout pack is at the primary school.
know. Okay.
So a lot of the children that go to the primary school are from the surrounding
Is
areas.
this in Christopher?
Well, no, this is Gardner Walters
Gordon
Primary
Walters.
School.
Okay.
Yes, Gardner Walters Primary School, which is in St. Patrick's.
Right, yeah.
Which is not necessarily in Christchurch East constituency,
Mhm.
but a lot of the children that go to school there
Right.
are from Christchurch East.
Oh, I fully understand.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more. Any hobbies? I remember Dale came up here
Oh.
a little while ago, and Dale had to pull his personal interests or hobbies over him, man.
Well, I like to ride motorcycle,
You right with this?
much to my husband's annoyance, but I like to ride 250
Motorcycles, you
Kawasaki.
mean these electric bikes, these electric scooters? You're talking
No. Huh? Huh? I like that kind of action.
Yeah, you like fun.
Yeah. And I love the sea too. So I
Okay.
spearfish and I grind sea cat. Sea cat too expensive for me to buy to get 4 pieces of sea cat. So I go
You
up
love
on
the
my own sea
spearfishing?
cat. It's my brother.
Really?
My brother is the one who first taught me to spearfish.
So you trade the spearfish, or you can actually spearfish.
Oh man, I own my own spearfishing gun and thing and my own flipper. No. I spearfish. I legit shoot what I eat. And I like lobster, crab, and them kind. But I can't afford them things. So I go and shoot lobster. I go and do what I gotta do.
The more you
And-
talk
and
voice
say-
tonight, but you have me speechless. Man. You're a serious lady.
But you asked me, so I can tell you.
You're a serious lady.
Yeah, man.
And when you
Have
have
an
boys,
adventurous
when you
thing.
have boys too as a mom, I mean that has to be fantastic.
Oh yeah. Not all the time, because sometimes I would like to,
But do you
pretty
find that,
bad behavior.
are they into spearfishing, let's say?
Well, my last one, which is the 11-year-old, he likes the sea like me,
Okay.
right? And my daughter. The first 2 boys don't care nothing about the sea or
Okay,
spearfishing.
Because I was going to ask you, like, do you find growing up in that area you tend to have an affiliation for the sea?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Science folks.
But for sure, many times you would hear stories about them walking down to Miami Beach, going to the jetty. Sometimes the stories are sad because people may have drowned,
Yeah.
and stuff. I know a few persons that don't like the sea because of that from the area.
Right. Okay.
But generally, yes, anybody that live on that area, that side, like the sea or
Amoy,
the spring. You got a lot of people that like the spring too.
Amoy Gilding-Bourne, ladies and gentlemen. She is the recently ratified candidate for Christchurch East. And she's a serious lady. And very down to earth, as you can see.
Yeah.
A woman with many talents, actually. So if you guys want to ask her any questions, feel free. The number is on the screen. So send her a message and I will happily share it with her. 725-253-1124. As we continue to go down the road, Mr. Boy, let's talk a little bit more like how do you maintain a work-life balance and ensure that you remain grounded?
Through the grace of God. And pencil and paper. Sometimes I feel like I am ordering chaos. And I'm sure a lot of you women out there would understand. As a mother, you have to deal with the children. If you have a husband, you have to mind the husband. If you're working, you got to make sure you show up for your job. It's always 100% for everything. So I guess I could say that I'm the typical woman and I multitask very well. Like women multitask top tier.
Yeah.
And you just do what you have to do. Some days it works. Some days you might forget PE clothes. Other days you might have it on. But you just don't quit.
So are you into any sports? Do you like any sports?
Well,
Can you be found watching cricket, football, netball?
but I only started to like cricket as a big woman. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Right?
I could not figure out for the life of me why my mother was obsessed with cricket. My mother loved cricket.
Okay.
But as a big woman
Right.
coming up, you get to learn, you understand, you fours, the sixes, the boundaries, you understand. But for me, I started swimming. I swam for Barbados, probably in 19 blah 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 blah,
Okay.
a very long time ago. And I played volleyball when I was at Lodge School. That's my things that I did. So sports, yes, volleyball, swimming.
So what was your favorite stroke swimming? Breaststroke, butterfly.
I like backstroke
Okay, backstroker.
and the butterfly. Difficult strokes, but I could have get them. So in those times when Leah Martindale, she was swimming
Yes.
for the Olympics, yes.
She was a 50-meter freestyler.
Yes, she and I used to swim in the same swim club, Alpha. And
Okay.
yeah, so that was
Actually, my daughter's with Alpha right now, actually.
see, very good.
She's a good
And I did not know that. Okay, I did not research you. I didn't.
That is good, man. That is indeed very, very good. Tell me a little bit about your development plans. Christchurch East is known for its vibrant community life. How do you plan to balance development with maintaining its cultural identity?
Well, this has been due for a long, long time. In Christchurch East, particularly in Parishland, we talk about my area. We once upon a time had a sporting complex, or I would say a community center that facilitated youth programs, facilitated sporting clubs, events, and so forth. We don't even have a playing field now. I don't know if you've been up Parish now recently, but if you haven't, maybe you should take a drive up there and see what they're doing. The Parish Land playing field was supposed to be slated as a mini stadium. However, there's nothing out there but marl. The community center is not operating at its full potential by no means. And those things need to come back. We've always had like an annual soccerama. Dr. Dennis Lowe was infamous for doing that every year. We used to have independence celebrations, whether it be Independence Fund Days, Fish Fries, whatever. Those things will come back. Once upon a time, we also had designated areas within Parish Land for housing and residential structures. Those things will be coming back. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Well, let me ask, where do you intend to take agriculture? And how do you intend to get more young people involved in the industry if you were to become the representative in Christchurch East?
Well, all I can tell you is I can lead by example. As long as persons see that it is possible, it opens the windows, it opens their eyes, and they'll be like, you know what? I know her. I know when she started that. It's something that I could do. I want people to look at me and say, you know what? I could do that too. Yes. And for agriculture itself, agriculture needs a lot of work in our nation. It is unfortunate that we have gotten to this stage. Farmers, I think, and I strongly believe, are the backbone of any nation. We feed our nation. And I say we because I am a farmer myself. And the farmers within Barbados are crying out for help. They have been for a long time. And now it's come to a head where we're seeing all these slogans about food security and, low production. And it's hard. So I want to inject some modernity into the agricultural industry. We need to modernize our systems. And there's a lot that can be done. And I'd like Minister Weir to really pay attention to some of the things I say, And if he needs any guidance,
I like your passion. I can tell you that. I like your dedication as a candidate for the area. And one of the beautiful things is that you actually live it. You live it every day. You wake up every day, you go to sleep every day in Christchurch East, I'll put you on the spot and I'll ask you this. If you were to wake up tomorrow morning, what would a perfect Christchurch East look like? In your eyes?
What would a perfect Christchurch East?
If there was anything called a perfect constituency, what would your constituency of Christchurch East look like for those folks up here?
What would my constituency look like?
In other words,
the roads would be paved. The roads would be paved, that is for sure. We would have community gardens, that is for sure. Right? We would also have reliable and consistent public transportation, that is for sure. And I would also like to make sure that there is an injection of sports. We had one of the most, lively communities within that area. I talk about Parishland with respect to having the football field, having the community center, having the lights. We were one of the first pastors to get lights. They're working to its full potential. I guess you wouldn't need them anyway because we don't have a playing field. But that said, I would like those things to come back so that we can get, that injection of livelihood within the community itself. Where people come and they play their food or play their trade, sell drinks, sell popcorn, but we don't.
So when you went to the constituency in Kelmis, how has the constituency been receiving you? What has been some of their cries?
Well, the residents want change. They really do.
So they're mad.
Well, I want to say a lot of them are mad.
Right.
Now, I've been out on the road since last year, October, right? So I can tell you that the reception of the residents has changed slightly. In the beginning, a lot of persons, they may have known me, they didn't want to hear about the Democratic Labour Party. But they understand that if I am involved in something, I don't just get into things willy-nilly. So they will want to know, why you in there? What attract you to the Democratic Labour Party? And then I let them know I am here to work for and on behalf of the people. Barbadians seem to not understand the importance of having a working democracy, having an opposition party to speak on and for the people. And I want to make sure that we have that. I want to give myself for service. So I don't look at it like I'm entering politics. I'm entering representation, right? And that's what we need. And that is what I am here for. So if the people of Christchurch want to wield me like the sword of justice, let me cut off some heads. That's what I'll be doing for you, the people.
We will be seeing a lot of Amoy Gilding-Bourne in Christchurch East. That is a fact.
That's for sure.
Viewers, remember, if you want to send any questions, you want us to pose to Amoy for you, you can feel free to send your WhatsApps. 725-253-1124. I'll ask you, Amoy, what is your favorite part about canvassing and talking to people? What is your favorite part?
Well, I meet so many different
Because you meet so many
personalities.
different people.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I meet so many different personalities. And you never know what you get. I go to both Democratic Labour Party houses and I go to Barbados Labour Party houses as well. I do not
Give me a
discriminate.
note for that. You
I
go
am
to the
going.
people in Christchurch
That is
East.
correct. Whether
You're
you
here.
red, blue, or polka dot, I coming at you though. And we're gonna engage each other in discussion. Sometimes it's like banter. Sometimes I have persons that ask me about international news. Some like to talk about the Donald Trump. Some like to ask me about different things with the World Health Organization. So you have to stay knowledgeable in various topic areas.
Definitely.
But I like to go and meet the people. I like to speak with the older folk as well too. They always give me a little nugget of wisdom to take with me, you know, especially that I'm new. When I say new, it's my first time in politics, right? So I can only get better from here.
You know the beautiful thing about it is, why you know you learn so much when you are at school studying. You're reading books. You learn a lot from the quote unquote intellectuals. But as you alluded to just now, sometimes you learn so much from the ordinary man when you knock at his door.
Oh, for sure.
Some people don't even know it or don't even realize it. But when you engage constituents, sometimes their history, their natural history, it is so much and it is so rich. But if you're not careful, you will spend the whole day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I recently went by a lady. This is in Hopewell when I was canvassing, and she was explaining to me about the difficulties they were having with her road. They have a gap in front of them, and when the rain falls, it floods and it blocks access for residents in and out. As you can imagine, having all that flood water there over a period of days, dengue, mosquitoes, and some all kind of other stuff. But what stuck me with this lady is that she's also, I would call a backyard farmer. You know, she grows her own produce, her family, and she was discussing some history about Guyana and the point in time where their food security was also in danger. And she said that one of the statements that stuck with her is produce or perish.
Produce or perish. Okay.
Produce, grow your own food, make sure you know how to produce and be self-sufficient, or perish. And for us as a nation, small nation state, we need to produce or we can perish. We have got to put more focus and interest into our agricultural industry. We have got to stop using agricultural lands for housing projects. Please. Please. We have a finite amount of land in Barbados, you know? And if we use that land to do non-agricultural projects, where are we getting this food from? Are we just going to be a nation of importation? Are we just going to be a nation of, it's not sustainable. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. So if I do become MP, that is something that I will definitely put steroids and ignite.
Absolutely going to agitate for those.
That's correct.
Those topics. And I can definitely see that. And from the conversation coming out tonight, clearly we can see that there's a need for serious land reform discussions in Barbados.
Yes, there is. There is. I think we should also do a revamp of certain acts that give certain ministers that much power that they by themselves can determine that they're going to use Drax Hall for housing, that they're going to go and dig up Newton, that they're going to go and, no, that they're going to go and take Bannatyne. No. We have got to save our agricultural industry, and we have got to start by stop using the agricultural lands for non-agricultural projects. It's just imperative. We must.
Do you think that we should be teaching, let's call it, smart agriculture,
Yeah.
like modernizing it, trying to introduce more technological aspects
Yes.
of getting into agriculture as opposed to just using the land and finding more smarter ways, more efficient ways of utilizing the lands.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because, like I said, we have a finite amount of land. And yes, provision of housing is important. We cannot escape that. But it should not come at the detriment of the agricultural industry. In other countries, we see they have vertical farming.
Mhm.
That's one option. We see they have policies where it's mandatory rooftop farming. That's another option. But we need to step outside of the box. We need to be, I guess, brave enough to take on these initiatives, these projects, which would, I guess, be relatively new or new in Barbados. I don't think we have vertical farming houses in Barbados or warehouses that we use for indoor farming. There are many things. Technology has improved greatly over the last 10 years or so.
I feel strongly about some of these same issues. I can tell you that. Take, for example, sometimes if I'm using the road going up to Staple Grove,
Mhm.
and I remember as a little boy, because I went to primary school at St. David's Primary,
Mhm.
and all those lands were agricultural lands. Those lands were sugarcane lands.
Yep. So you used to see the cane arrows.
Yeah, correct.
When's the last time you see a flurry of cane arrows?
Correct.
Gone are the
And
days.
slowly but surely, you're just seeing it being converted in the housing estates.
Or solar farms,
And that is one of my biggest pet peeves, actually.
which is another issue.
Interesting that you raised that, because I don't think we are too far gone, because I still think that the whole introduction of solar farms in Barbados is relatively still a new
Mhm.
phenomenon.
Mhm.
But I think we need to stop in our tracks,
Yes.
because to me, we are wasting too much land for the solar farms.
Yes.
It can be done in a more smarter way. Put up a building, do something, and then put the solar farms, the solar panels on top of it. But I see large plots of land all across Barbados.
Agricultural land
Agricultural lands like that.
that they are using for
What
solar
is your
farms.
take on that?
I don't like it. I think it's rubbish. I mean, let me take that back.
No, I totally. If that's how you feel, Amoy, that's how you feel. It can be better utilized.
It can be better
Yeah,
utilized.
seriously, man.
Right? I want to be
Mhm.
not prim and proper with my
Mhm.
words, but I don't want to give the wrong impression. I don't think that going into this new energy state is right, because we need to develop
Yes,
it,
agreed.
but we need to do it correctly. And if you do it right the first time, we won't have to go back to fix any issues. At least, But I think it definitely needs to halt and to have revision, because we heard Light and Power talk about, not having certain connectivity to the grid.
Right.
So what is the point in doing all of this for if we haven't gotten to that level yet?
Right.
But that is another discussion, maybe for another session.
Man, we have so much to learn tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So much to learn. And let me ask you quickly. One viewer asks, do you think that the government should offer incentives to poultry farmers, given that the planned increase in the cost of chicks?
Well, yes.
Farmers are subsidized in some places in the world. I mean,
In many places in the world, but it seems like the only place in the world is Barbados that farmers, have these types of issues. That should have been done, So yes, I do agree. And also, now we're on the topic of farmers. Farmers pay the same water rates as residential persons. To me, that's nonsense. If you are farmers and you are producing and you are adding and helping towards the food security of a nation, you should not be made to pay the same rate as residential homes. They should have some rebate for our farmers or lower the price of the water rate. Take it that from 60 cents back down. So I think something like that can be done too. It's not only rebate for the poultry farmers, but also for the farmers that growing food, livestock, and that kind of stuff.
I want to thank you so much, Amoy. Man, you just have so many ideas. You are passionate about a lot of areas. I can
Yes.
definitely tell you that. You are passionate. You already have a couple of people sending some questions, and another one is coming our way. So before we go any further, we're going to get that question, but I really like the road you're going, Amoy. I think that if you continue, you can be highly beneficial to not just the constituents in Christchurch East, but of course the length and the breadth of Barbados. And one of the best ways by which you can gather information is by maintaining those relationships with persons in the constituency.
For sure.
You know, most definitely. And having your children too of varying ages, obviously they're going to give you a youthful perspective. I mean, be a little more youthful than you're accustomed to. So they're kind of your avenue to find out how the young people are really thinking.
Oh yes, my children definitely keep me grounded. You know, from all ranges, from the big one down to the little one,
Right.
who's 11 but going on 44. He's just, you know. So yes, and a range of topics, you know, from SpongeBob to police court to opening your own business, eyebrows, eyelashes. You know, it's a full range of issues that I've had to deal with.
You know, I
as a
remember,
mother.
I would always tell people, you learn so many things at school, but they never teach you about adulting.
Oh no,
You
oh
know?
no, yeah.
And for sure, just as Dale alluded to earlier, and you said also, you have to bring pretty much all the rapid in, let's say, curriculum reform, because you have to teach these real life subjects to youngsters.
That's for sure.
They need to know it. They need to know about money management.
Yeah.
They need to know about business entrepreneurship from a young age.
Yeah. And also, I would like to add to that list. It may sound old schoolish, but decorum, etiquette. I went to school at the convent in my first couple of years. And, you know, thinking back to say what impact the convent had on me. How I dress, how I carry myself, things I wear, how I cross my legs when I sit, how I bend to pick up something from the floor. I find a lot of that is missing these days, you know? Anything that's Watless and Lascivious is front line now.
It's pushed.
And yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it could be better. You see, when I was at school, we had rules and regulations about hair. Now, don't get me wrong. I never used to like to comb my hair when I was at school. So my hair used to be, and you couldn't wear your hair like that.
Right.
You had to be neat. In this day and age, we have 13-year-olds going to school with weave. To each his own, but I don't think that we should have that in school. Back in my day, we was complaining that we couldn't wear donkey hair, which is the braids, what the girls would call box braids now. Back then, Mad had a song, and they're donkey hair, yeah, yes. And we was like, but why? This is against, you know, we should be able to do it. But now we're looking back, those rules and those regulations were purposeful. So a lot of people ask, oh, you wear stockings or what you wear? You dress a certain way.
You know, sometimes there are things that I don't even understand. I always say the person is like, there are things that sometimes you don't understand until you become older.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And ironically, I was one of those persons who went to school with my hair as I liked. You know,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Me too. See,
they told me to. Ironically, when I was going to school back in my day, the thing was to have your big pants. You know, the big baggy pants, and they wanted to wear close-fitting pants. Now today, the in thing is to have all these close-fitting pants.
Yeah,
I think you guys don't wear it so tight that they're no wanting them to wear them baggy. You know, so I agree with you. Our standards, I said to someone last week, our standards are missing. And if you are that person who speaks against it or speaks out against it, it is seen as if something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it has to be addressed, because in society, we have to stand for something. And I think that standards are something that we really, really need to get into. So I'm going to invite Dale to come back up here and join us as we bring this to a wrap. But let me ask you a couple of questions quickly. Kind of picking back on what we said earlier. If you were to gain a seat at the table, this is what a constituent asks. What is one of the first things that you would do for your constituency? And I'm going to ask this question to both you and Dale, actually. if you were to gain a seat, what is one of the first things that both of you guys would do for your constituency?
Well, having been out and canvassing and speaking to the people, like I said again, one of the major concerns is the roads. Taxpayers want better roads. Driving on those roads is a hazard, and a lot of them don't have private transportation, but need reliable public transportation, and that is missing. So that would be one of the first things that would be on my list. Fix the roads, get some reliable public transportation. We had a gentleman, I think his name was Roy. He was from the Raphael, right? He was talking about the M1, getting a different bus route or bound route to come up through Silver Sand, so that the people in Ferry Valley would still be able, correct, so that people in Ferry Valley and Time Bottom will still be able to have some sort of transportation. Walking from Pilgrim Road, coming straight down through to get down to Ferry Valley, that's a long trek. Add 2 babies and 4 grocery bags to that, you know? So definitely, roads, public transportation.
Do I want to send the same question to you? If you were to get a seat at the table, what is the first thing you would do for your constituency?
First thing I would do, a city cleanup. With the city cleanup, I'm going to employ the young people from in the city. So we're going to get the young people from the city to come and do the cleanup program. So I want to clean all of the parks, all of the public areas, you know, the houses where the elderly might not have family or persons to assist with the cleanup, but a serious cleanup campaign in the city, employing the young boys and the young women to assist with that program. And then the third thing I would love for us to do,
well, the cleanup in the city is good.
Correct.
That is definitely needed because, you know, we have a lot of rodents and stuff in the city. We need
Correct.
to get that sorted out. So for sure, you had mentioned unemployment earlier and entrepreneurship. Sure that you'll be using one of your projects also.
Yeah, so we definitely gonna also push that project, the same mad project. Correct. So once we are elected, for sure the first thing we will definitely do the city cleanup. And I forget, and I just remembered, sorry. We met some persons, we met so many people in the city that currently have pit toilets.
Oh yes, so
So I saw a couple articles last year and year before, and also in 2018, where they said that there's no pit toilets. Well, there are pit toilets in the city, and when I'm elected, I am telling you now, we're gonna remove and try to do the analysis, because it's okay to say we're gonna move a pit toilet, but you need to find what are the issues, what is going to cost, but we want to give better bathroom facilities to the residents in the city.
Those are things that are definitely required, especially in today's world. They're definitely accepted. And quickly, I will add some more information. Viewer, Parliament today discussed the health services nuisance regulations. It involved placing penalties on land tax for delinquent landowners. As a lawyer, what are your thoughts on this planned proposal? And do you think it would actually impact farmers who own large parcels of land?
well,
I know sometimes you're going to leave your land idle if you wanted to rekindle. I'm not a farmer, so they're going to help me here. But sometimes when you harvest, they leave it idle for a little while. Yeah?
well, sometimes you may leave it idle, but it is still being supervised.
Right. Okay.
Right? So that would ensure that illegal dumpers don't, take the opportunity to come and just put their waste there. With respect to persons who have, I think it was Cynthia Ford, Senator Cynthia Ford, that was
Minister Cynthia Ford. Okay.
that was in the House of Parliament today. She was talking about rubbish and different things. And it is unfortunate that we do have some Barbadians who don't see the importance of having a pristine environment. And what I will say is that I have worked in the environmental health department for the Ministry of Health and Wellness. So I know all too well that after the first notice, after the second notice, and after the third notice, those persons should be hauled before the law courts by the scruff of their neck. And that is not done. Because we could send notices from now to the end of Memorial Grammar. Nothing doesn't get done. I don't know why, if it is because Barbados operates on the friends, favors, and family. So that use my friend, but you know, you got some illegal dumping going up there, but use my friend so I can ease you. And that's just how it has been from time immemorial. My time in the Ministry of Health and Wellness in the Environmental Health Department, one of the things that I was tasked to do was to train the environmental health officers. To train the environmental health officers to prepare them for how you move from notice or complaint to notice to court. Because it was recognized, and it's back then, that Barbadians are persons who have overgrown lots, who have refuge on their lots, who are continually warned about those things. They do nothing. And why they do nothing? Because they are not taken before the law court. And why are they not taken before the law court? Well, you would have to ask the minister. Because a lot of these hoteliers, if you look within the Christchurch area that's going on the Richard Haynes Boardwalk, we have a lot of those hoteliers, a lot of those restaurants that have food, garbage, rats and rodents, the skips. Right now there's a problem with rats on the Richard Haynes Boardwalk. So a supposed tourist or destination, you know, where people go. And it needs to be addressed. This is too long now that has been an issue, and it needs to be addressed. So I agree that persons who have overgrown lots, persons that have garbage and refuse and stuff on their lots, when the environmental health officers go and they have 1 notice, 2 notice, 3 notice, that's it. Don't waste any more time. Hit them where it hurts, in the pocket. We've told you to clean it up 3-4 times. You don't want to, but pay some money now. And I think that might work.
I definitely agree with you there, Amoy, and I'm sure Dale, you would have experienced that in the city. Also, overgrown lots, illegal lots. What has been your experience so far, Council?
Well, those same lots, persons are doing dumping. Persons are dumping. Persons are dumping. And it's ridiculous. So, you know, we need to put things in place and you know, like Amoy said, 1 notice, 2 notice, 3 notice, let her feel it. We had a situation where we did a toy drive. Persons had old refrigerators, old stoves, and it had rats and all kinds of stuff there. And the persons in the area were complaining. So I think that is a serious matter, and fine people.
Don't just talk, because
Correct.
we hear a lot of talk from this government, a lot of pretty talk, you know, well presented, but no action.
I remember I heard Dr. Dawn Marie, she said on Sunday at the St. Michael West branch, we typically really introduced the candidate for St. Michael West. She pointed out, she said, you call him the relief and Lily or release something. She called it, but it was too, I'm too young or too old to know that group, but pretty much she was
Me neither.
but she was making the point that pretty much it's a lot of talk, you know.
Yeah.
I think that constituents are disappointed because it's a lot of talking and nothing's happening.
Yeah, recently we heard them talking about revamping skills training.
Right.
Skills training?
Mm-hmm.
That should have been done.
Great.
In 2025, all of a sudden they're interested in telling people about, you know,
Great.
skills training.
Great. So I definitely agree with you there, for sure. But we're going to have a lot of conversation about this on tax penalty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things on it that we're going to need to discuss on this show. But that's why we have DLP TV,
Well,
because your views will be heard, and we encourage you to share with us.
yeah, for sure. For
Give
sure.
us an important thought, Amoy.
Well, the DLP does not agree with the land tax penalty that you mentioned there just now. I mean, there are things that can be improved. I mean, we don't criticize everything. You know, we see what is happening in our nation, and as the opposition party, quite frankly, it's my duty. It is my duty to identify these failures. It is my duty to identify these areas where improvement can be made. Call up the government and let them make the improvement, or when they get there, I will do it.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So, what are your last thoughts? I mean, you can look into the camera, you can talk to folks in Christchurch East. Anything you want to say to the constituents over in Christchurch East?
Stay tuned and watch this ride. Stay tuned. Definitely. There's so much more to come. You know, we're now getting started. Not only myself and Christchurch East, but for all of the candidates that were named. I know Mr. Rowe has a full cohort of events. Without saying too much, we will definitely be out there. You'll be seeing me, don't worry. If you don't hear me, you will see me. You know?
Dale, over to you. Your last words tonight for the constituents over in the city.
All I want to say, peace and love, and I would love for every Barbadian to support the Democratic Labour Party with our new venture, trying to bring the honest voices to you, to bring the situations to you, and also we, the Democratic Labour Party, will find solutions. No more talk. Fully support us and give us this opportunity to make that difference.
I second that, Mr. Rowe, for sure. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Dale Rowe, the Democratic Labour Party's candidate for the City of Bridgetown. And also you've heard from Miss Amoy Gilding-Bourne. She is a candidate for Christchurch East. Honest voices for the people. And these are just two examples of the philosophy here that we have right here in the Democratic Labour Party. We will continue to introduce you to many of the candidates who have been recently ratified to represent our party, and of course, much more to be ratified in the future. This is DLP TV. I am your host, Courie Cox. Thank you so much for having us. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.